Hello everybody and welcome back to France. In the last episode we had basically won the war. We've done the hard work of winning the war. We do need to take this fort down here, it looks like. Portugal has been kicked out of the war. We took a bunch of money from them. Like now they're at war with Morocco. So unfortunately for them, things aren't looking too good for Portugal. And Portugal has no allies either. Probably because when Morocco declared on Portugal, England didn't answer the call, therefore it broke the alliance between Portugal and England. I'm just now realizing that's probably how that happened. So we have a 90% war score against England. England, in fact, has no troops. England has no troops. So what we can do now is, whoops, I didn't need to cancel that, is we can try to, we need to send these guys up here, but we can start carpet sieging England. And the truth is, we might not need to, strictly speaking, we might not need to carpet siege them. You know, to win this, because again, we've gotten the forts, we have 90% war score. I mean, we can only go up to 100%. But we can do this just so, like, if we have troops in all these provinces, they can't train more troops. And we can loot them too. So we can just kind of hang out. Okay, we've gotten that. We're at 99% war score. Let's figure out what we're going to do here. Just out of curiosity, what is the one province we have a claim on here in Brittany? It's right here. And if we wanted to take that, it'd be 19 aggressive expansion, and no one would care besides Burgundy. Which, Burgundy is our rival, so essentially no one cares. If we do a separate peace with them, it's still going to be 19 aggressive expansion. It's not going to change. So we could just separate peace out Brittany, get them out of the war. And we could also take war reps and their money, which, sure. That's if we want to take this province. Now, before we consider that, actually, let's grab that for now. Get all this stuff lined up there. Okay, that looks like what we might do with Brittany. Again, with the separate peace. If we just, with England, though, let's just say, hypothetically, let's just start clicking on some stuff here. Again, this is a reconquest war. So we are going to get... We're going to get these provinces that we already own. Again, if we go back to our diplomacy screen, all these ones that are striped green, but are red, they're controlled by England. We now technically control them in the war, but I mean, they're part of England's kingdom. So we should be getting these for like minus 75% the cost. In fact, it shouldn't cost us any Diplo either. We'll look at that, 5%, 7, or sorry, not 7%, 7. No aggressive expansion, because again, we already have cores on these. These already belong to France. We've already put in the administrative work. We're going to be liberating these people. We're going to be liberating these people. So look at this. We can get all this on the cheap. 22 aggressive expansion. No one's going to care besides Burgundy and England. And of course, England is going to have a truce with us, and they're our rival. Again, our rivals are the only people that are going to care here. Hypothetically, let's just start clicking on stuff. Let's click on London. Now some people are going to care. Now some people are going to care if we take London. People are going to care if we take London. A few people, but not many people would care if we take Calais. It'd be nice to take Calais to really get them out of Europe altogether, right? This would be the last foothold that England has on Europe. Now, it could be interesting kind of leaving this here because it kind of like teases Burgundy a bit to maybe want to attack. In fact, Burgundy, are you allies? How is Burgundy... See, the fact that Burgundy doesn't have any strong rivals besides us is kind of... Again, we were talking about this earlier. They kind of got a free pass. I mean, Savoy's not really... isn't strong enough to be a rival of Burgundy, but yet here we are. Savoy's their rival, so... Yeah, we'll give Portugal military access. We'd rather see them come down and try to defend their lands as best as they can. I don't think they have a chance. But we'll see if they can try. Huh. So, okay. If we wanted to take something like London, we probably shouldn't take this province over here. London would be pretty dang good. Here's the thing about London. London's a estuary and a center of trade. London is a very, 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 very rich province. Both in trade, taxes, everything. This is a very, very powerful province. Taking London would weaken England severely. We already have the foothold up here, but... And it's annoying sieging this thing all the time, you know what I mean? Annoying sieging this down every single time. But if we don't take London, then we can take a bunch of money, I presume. We could take war reps, so they'll pay us a bunch. We can just get a bunch of money from them. That's if we don't take London. We also don't piss people off as much. We wouldn't be taking Calais either, though. But you know, we gotta, I mean, we're gonna go to war with England again and again and again. So let's take this province from Brittany here. Just be done with it. Start coring that, getting that to be part of our nation proper. We can wait on that. We can wait till the war exhaustion ticks down a little bit. Yeah, the rebel uprising is at 90%. This is gonna happen at this point now. So we do want to get over here and do something about that. In fact, can our troops get over here right now? That's kind of nice. That's kind of snazzy. What's the rebellion size going to look like? 10th. Okay. Let's actually use this war. We have military access through here because England probably has military access through Burgundy, or the Papal State might actually. So let's keep going here for a bit. And also, let's start buttering these people up who actually are saying that they don't like us anymore, that they're going to get a lot of aggressive expansion with us. See, if we look at Liege, they want to like us, but there's a lot of aggressive expansion there that they're accumulating for us. So let's get these people happy. Gallery, it's kind of like, of course, Gallery's not going to like us because we actually took provinces from their good friend. So there's nothing that's going to happen there. But let's get Cleves on our side at least. We can just get more claims on Holland if we want. Again, we're doing this through Burgundy. Building this network and building Burgundy allows us to claim their put claims on all of their vassals and personal unions. That's how we're doing that, but we don't need to do that anymore. No, we didn't get the Pope. So England's trying to field an army here. We only need 6,000 troops to stay behind. This guy's got no siege value anyway, so let's just literally just dump 6,000 troops here. Maybe 7, just so it doesn't get delayed. We don't even really, strictly speaking, we don't really need to do this, but whatever. Let's do some fighting here. Oh, they did pop up. But you know what would be really, really nice? What would be really, really nice is if our allies actually helped with this, but I doubt they're going to. We could just sort of dogpile this province here if we wanted. This. Reinforce it with our main stack. Not going to be the cleanest battle in the world, but... Oh, they actually diverted. Smart. So we didn't get the Curie controller. We invested a lot of our points into it, but we didn't get it. Kind of unfortunate. We do have... I think we keep going for it, though. I think that'd be fun. We've invested 20. We now have the highest chance to get it again. We could go take a look at the Pope. See how young the Pope is. The Pope is 47 years old. This is a new Pope, and when that Pope dies, then it'll be a new Curia controller. It's better than England having it, that's for sure. That's for sure. Okay, let's get up here, man. Get up here. Yeah, this is unfortunate, actually. There's going to be some separatism here, but it's the way of it. It's the way of it. Doing some carpet sieging. So select a bunch of units here, and then basically all I'm doing is, you know, they're already in a bunch of little individual stacks, and we're just sort of moving, escape, and then move them all again, and then eventually that sort of spreads them all out. This little carpet sieging bricks there, make it a little less painful. Let's get our good leader in here, though. England's still trying to field troops. That rebellion is taken care of. Let's make... Who doesn't like us? A lot of these people don't really like... They're all kind of on edge. They're all kind of on edge. We've taken a good amount of land. They're not going to care too much about us taking these next provinces, but just in general, they are a little bit on edge here. No doubt about it. We kind of do want a leader here if we're going to fight. Okay, good. Put the leader here. Move into there if you can, please. Hopefully our 2,000 can hold. There we go. They held. That was good. Local unrest somewhere. Well, let's check where this is. P-R-I... There we go. Paragod or whatever. Paragod. Local unrest here is probably not going to be a big deal because, again, this is deep within, you know, deep within the area, so we're going to get a little bit of innovation there. It's going to be nice. I changed my mind. Let's just get this core going. So what I was thinking about here is this technically increases the cost to core this, so it's 84. It's increasing it by a couple points. That's not worth it to us. We don't care about a couple points. We'd rather get rid of this because this is actually leading to a bunch of negative modifiers here. It'd be better to get rid of that altogether than worry about just a couple points. So what we're kind of doing here that's kind of interesting is we're actually like increasing England's war exhaustion by having them siege like this. So what we can do is we can kind of try to do this and try to weaken them. Basically, the harder you hurt them in the war, the harder it is for them to recover from the war. So they're building these troops, they're spending money, they're going into debt to do all these things. Yeah, it's kind of scary, but England is not in a good spot right now because they have this really high war exhaustion, which leads to their national unrest. They have a really high national unrest. They still have their 000, so they're really far behind on technology. England's having a really hard time with it. We've gotten really lucky this game. I mean, France does beat England. Like we're not getting lucky there. This is, I mean, getting up here and doing this to England is a little lucky, for sure. We're getting lucky this game. We're getting lucky. Do we have any siege leaders? We do have one siege leader, so we can put this guy with the one siege skill, and we can actually try to move him here to speed this up a bit. Thing is, does England still have a big fleet? They do. We didn't even use our fleet. Didn't even use it. Let's move this back, because what happens is, after there's a rebellion, there's a huge modifier, negative 100 unrest. So, as long as there's been a recent rebellion, and it'll be that way for 10 years, there can't be another rebellion here, so... We should be good, because this is going to wear off, and that's 10 unrest, so in 4 years that's going to wear off. So there should never be another rebellion here in the immediate future unless something happens to our country. Okay, well, let's just kind of go back here. Let's... Made some people a bit happier. Let's go back and see how people are going to react when we take back our rightful land. Again, if we take London, people are going to be upset. People are going to be very, very, very upset. I mean, this isn't anything that we can't handle. Britain and England can't even join because they'd have a truce with us. You can only join a coalition against a nation if you don't have a truce with them. So England and Brittany, yeah, of course they're going to hate us because we just took land from them. But again, they can't do anything about that. Burgundy technically could, but the weird thing is Burgundy's already our rival, so they already hate us anyways. But all these little nations could try to group up together and fight us and just be kind of a nuisance. I don't think there's anything they could do against our nation and our alliance network. But this is with London. Again, this is with London. So if we take London out of it, yeah, no one cares. No one cares except for Burgundy. Which, again, Burgundy, yeah. I think we just do this, but we could try to weaken England more. I don't know. It's just kind of up to us on this point. At this point, sieging this won't really make any difference. We're just kind of devastating their land at this point, though, looting it, stuff like that. We can sort of keep track of their war exhaustion. It is going up. The nice thing is they have a very weak leader. So the war exhaustion, the way you get rid of it is you let it slowly go away if you're at peace. Slowly. That's the key word here. Slowly. It'll slowly go down at peace. Or you pay a bunch of Diplo and get rid of it by hitting this button. 75 Diplo to reduce it by 2. So if we get them up to 20 war exhaustion, we don't have to go all the way, but I mean right here it's going to cost them 7 times, you know, take them 7 times to reduce this down, right? In fact, every month it's going up by a good strong amount. Why did it just say we had a mission? No, it didn't. We accidentally, what happened to that mission? Was it high income? Were we getting money from high income and now we're not? Keep looting provinces that need to be looted. Construction. I don't think we need to hit this button super quickly anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. We can embrace an institution. Wow, how much is this going to cost us? It's going to cost us 500 ducats to embrace. We're about to get a huge payday from England. We might want to do that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Or we could just let it sort of naturally spread even more. Because if we go to the institutions here, we look at the Renaissance. Okay, we got some of these areas here have embraced the Renaissance, but some of these areas haven't. There we go. We got that siege done. So if we move over to here, yeah, they're coming. They're going up high. I think at this point we just let them go to. We just let it ride to 20. Let's go to speed 4 and just let it ride to 20 here. Every month it's going up by about a half a point, a little bit more than that. Technically, there's still a little nation over here that's at war with us, but we don't care too much about that. So, anyways, it's going to cost them. If we get this all the way up to 20, it's going to take 10 times for them to reduce it. 750 Diplo. Reduce this, and this is increasing national unrest by 20%. So even these provinces that are like literally the heart of our nation, right? -5 unrest. If this was plus 20, we would have rebellions, just tons of rebellions. So this is going to put England in a tricky situation, and what they're going to have to do is if they pay it down, which they should, they're going to be even farther behind on diplomatic technology, because it's going to cost them a lot of diplomatic power. Get rid of that war exhaustion. There we go, they're at 20. Let's do the war here. Looks like we just lost a leader as well. We should be making money, not losing money, especially if we don't have that ruler anymore. Alrighty. I think this is what we want to do. We want to take all their money, which 680 ducats. That could even pay for the embracing the Renaissance, which is funny. They're going to pay us war reps, which is nice too. And we're going to take back all of the land that is rightfully ours, and no one's going to care. This is good. 25 prestige. We're going to get a lot of power projection because we're taking land from a rival. And England is like severely crippled at this point. No, our allies are happy because we called them in with favors. We didn't promise them any land. Because that is something you can do. You can promise your allies land, but we didn't do that. So let's accept. That was our third war and our first aggressive war against England. We actually did just complete an achievement as well. There's an achievement for taking back the land from England there. It didn't pop up because I don't have the Steam overlays active for the recording. So, is it actually saying that England... No, England's still a valid rival. Who was the other rival? Aragon. Aragon's not a valid rival. Is that because they're technically part of... it's probably because they're part of Castile now. Because I don't know if we talked about this. Have we not talked about... Did this just happen? Castile got the Iberian wedding. So, an event triggered where... Castile had, still has their 000 as well. A male leader, and Aragon has a female leader. And that triggers the Iberian wedding. So Castile now controls Aragon and Naples, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So we have completed some of these here. One of the things that we've completed is we have reconquered Gascony. Let's hit that button. And that gives us claims on the Provence areas. Permanent claims on these. No, we already had these claims. It gives us permanent claims on... We had these claims too. These areas here. I was surprised it doesn't give us claim here. Because that was Provence earlier in the game, remember? And then we've also reconquered Normandy. So we've done 2 of these important historical missions. There we go. And so we have claims on the rest of Brittany now. That's what we got for doing reconquering Normandy. So now we definitely have areas that we need to go and conquer. Unfortunately, we can't go south anymore because Aragon, which also means it's going to be tricky for us to go to Naples because all of this is Castile and Castile's our ally. We might have to break ties there, but if we did, it'd be nice if we had a backup ally. I don't know. The safe thing is definitely not to break ties, but we'll have to see. Put our ships over there, start transporting these back to back to France proper. We have the foothold over here, still in the HRE. It would be interesting. I think Burgundy's where we point next. Burgundy is where we point next. Brittany is upset, but what can you do, Brittany? What can you do? Okay, so we can select a naval doctrine. What is this all about? This is actually one of the new... I'm not sure why we just unlocked this. But I'm not super familiar with these. I've actually never done a campaign where I had to select one of these. Naval maintenance modifier, so we can make our ships cheaper. Galley combat ability. Oh, it'll cost us 155 ducats. The heck? Ship trade power. Okay, so this could be good if we want to use our ships to boost our trade, to protect trade. Ship boarding. So you can, yeah, one of the things is in a naval battle, you can actually capture enemy ships, and this actually increases the chance that we can do that. Wooden wall. Naval combat bonus off owned coasts. That actually is decent, but apparently you have to be British culture group to be able to do that. That one's actually decent, but it looks like it's specifically for the British. I think we're just going to go with Merchant Navy at this point. We're just going to focus on using our Navy to help with trade. Ship boarding is kind of an interesting one, though. I don't. 15% naval maintenance, I don't think that's a big deal. Our Navy's not that great. It's not that expensive. It's not a huge cost. Let's just hit that. Cool. So it did cost us some money, unfortunately. We can embrace the Renaissance, like it said. It's going to cost a little bit more than it did a second ago because of controlling more land that has not embraced the Renaissance. We can look at a province here, go to this tab here for the institutions and see, oh, Oh, it's really not spreading very much at all. We might have to hit that button. Well, it's spreading more in these areas. Some of the provinces, it's probably because this is bordering here, and this is not bordering. It probably has to do with the border. But it's actually present in these areas probably because it was bordered with the Papal State, who's already embraced it. Present here, so it is sort of... It's growing outward, right? Growing outward. Once these areas, they're growing from this here. It's growing, right? It's growing, but it's just kind of like going very slowly here. I don't know if we want to spend that much money and do this or not, or if we just chill out, because it could be a while. We're getting a 21 penalty on technology, but it's going to be 8 years before we actually need to get administrative or military technology. We are working on diplomatic though, so we are going to be getting a penalty if we don't embrace for diplomatic, but we probably will wait to embrace until we're closer to actually wanting to get a technology, because that's the only thing that this affects right here, is this 20% penalty for technology, but we're way ahead of time on these, so we're just going to be chilling out. And we have an idea group that we're working on here, so most of our military power is going to go towards our idea group. So we still need to pick a rival here. Denmark? I don't know. We don't want to, obviously, well... rivaling Austria is kind of like, is that... I mean, yes, Austria is our rival. There's no doubt about it, right? Historically, thematically. But, I mean, we're not going to be going to war with Austria. So... the benefits of having a rival here, I'm not sure if we want to rival Austria or not. Castile, of course, is our ally. Papal State is our ally. The Ottomans, same thing. I mean, yes, eventually we will be rivals with the Ottomans. Like, that will happen. They're one of the most powerful nations historically in this time period. But, again, we're not concerned with them at the moment. I think Denmark's even kind of a stretch. To think that we're concerned with Denmark is a bit of a stretch. The nice thing about Denmark is they're a little bit weaker. They're a little bit weaker, so it's possible that we could eclipse them sooner. Because what happened was we eclipsed Aragon. Well, actually, Aragon became a... never mind, it was because Aragon became under a personal union. We lost that. But sometimes you can actually eclipse your rivals, and that's one way to get new rivals. In fact, actually, we can technically just pay to change this. We could pay to change this. I don't know if it's a cost. But it's not letting us. Why is it not letting us? I don't know why it's not letting us. But sometimes you can change those. There should be a way to actually adjust those if we need to in the future. But right now it's fine. We're just going to select Denmark so that we don't get a penalty for not having enough rivals. Okay, so it is saying there's some unrest going on. What is that mostly coming from? Separatism. Well, that's going to be ticking down. That's okay. We should be good in these provinces because, again, these are French. Why is it saying we have so many rebellions going? Oh, it's the Brittany provinces here. These three right here that are complaining. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Get some troops nearby just in case. But it's going to be a while before the Breton separatists. Yeah, the Breton separatists. These provinces right here, we're going to be getting some sort of rebellion. Looks like it's going to be 14,000 troops. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Let's start getting our troops back to high income. Again, what this gives us is 25 years of reduced construction cost and construction time. We probably don't want to hit that until we're actually about to do some construction. Steel wants to do a royal marriage. No reason not to. We're allies with them. This is saying we could become the defender of the Catholic faith. Although this is 500 ducats. We only have 700 ducats. We should be making a lot of money, though. So we are making a lot of money. It looks like spoils or war reparations is a big part of that. But England is paying us 2 ducats. Portugal's paying us a ducat. And the other smaller nations are still paying us, you know, what they can. What they can. So this makes us the defender of the Catholic faith. Gives us some bonuses here. Reduces war exhaustion, which is pretty amazing if you're at war. Not so amazing if you're at peace. Because at peace it's already should be about 0. Be at least trending down to 0. Don't need the additional mission. We're not at war, so I don't know why we do this quite yet. So let's not worry about that. Venice will hire troops for Condottieri. Worried about that. We could do some building. We have a lot of money here, but we're thinking we might need to embrace the Renaissance. Let's do a little bit of building. We've also increased our force limit a good amount by getting these provinces. In fact, why has the force limit not gone up more? 75%. Why is that 75%? Probably because this is a territory. So we need to actually like eventually make these into... Yeah, we need to make these into states. This area is not even so we can't get the most out of this area because they're not, it's not a state, it's just a territory. So when do we get more states? We can go to our technology screen and this will tell us the next level. So level 8 administrative technology will get more states. So that'll be really important. That'll be really important. Again, we know what that's all about. We could actually try to subjugate Brittany instead of take them over, but I mean, at this point, we're pretty much well on the way of just conquering them. So the clergy think that they deserve a few more provinces. If we go here to the build screen here, we can give this to an estate. That, give them this province here. Reduces the unrest there a little bit, actually. Kind of nice. In fact, looking at the estates, what have we not... We could hit some buttons here, potentially. Lose a little bit of prestige. Make them happy first. Then we could come in and demand some stuff, like diplomatic power. And these all kind of mirror each other, right? We sacrifice prestige, a little bit of legitimacy. Give them a little bit more influence, make them happy. And then we come in and we ask for administrative power. We're just kind of like, we make them happy, then we give them something, they give us something. Basically what we're doing here. Oh, their influence is a little low. We can hit this button, recruit. This will increase their influence by 15. We're only getting 50 military power because they have below 50% influence. Or maybe it's below 60. I'm not sure where the cutoff point is. But now that it's at 60, when we hit this, we'll get 100. Which is nice. And because we have 400 now, it's actually going to say that we can get the next point in our ideas. And I think we should. I think we should, because we're way ahead on military technology, so we're not going to need it for this for a long time. We are definitely working towards this. In fact, if we get Elan, we get the next 2 more ideas, we're going to get 20% more morale of our enemies, which is a huge boost. And part of the reason why the French are so powerful. That's going to be monstrous. That is going to be absolutely monstrous. Our troops are going to be very, very efficient fighters. Not so much efficient, but they're not going to give up. They're going to keep fighting and fighting and fighting until they win in a battle. The question is, let's go down to speed 3 while we kind of think about... In fact, let's start automatically getting our troops transported. So if we just highlight our troops here, and we clicked on any of these provinces, it'll bring this automatic transport up. Sometimes this comes up in a really buggy way, right? When we're trying to move our troops after a battle and it's stuck because we haven't waited a day. But in this case, if we just grab the troops, move them over to here, it's going to say, would you like to use this fleet here to transport the troops automatically? Sure, why not? So they can only do 8 at a time. As we can see, 24. They're going to go back, pick up more. They are grabbing them 8 at a time here, 8 at a time. Getting a little bit of attrition because your troops will suffer attrition while you're kind of out and about at sea. there's a few things we can do. One thing, let's think about how can we optimize our money. We have a lot of forts. In fact, it says we have 7 forts. That's way too many forts. So instead of just mothballing them, here's something we can do. We can actually get rid of them. We can, like, this fort right here is kind of unnecessary because we already have this fort protecting this area here. So let's get rid of this Fort Normandy. See, we still have the same area of influence here. Well, we lost this province, but who cares? If we look down here, this is decent. This connection right here, this blockade here is looking pretty good. We don't really need these forts here. The only thing about these forts is they're protecting us from Burgundy. But honestly, I'd rather build one in Berry, or build one here in one of these areas with woods. I'd rather build one here, pay the money, than pay for these 2 forts. So let's get rid of these because they're at our rear. Again, we don't really need them way back here. We need them in the front. Now we have a good, if we update, if we wait till February for this map mode to update here and see where we're at. We're in the fort map mode here. I'm not sure why it's still showing this area is defended by forts. I might be missing something, but either there is a gap here through Berry, right? There's a gap here, and we could plug that gap by building forts in any of these provinces here, or even actually in Nevers over here. Would be good. Well, no, because it's not a forest. I think here is where we'd build it, right here. But either way, we don't need to be paying for all those forts, so we've cut down the forts, and that gives us a lot more income. Now we can say, okay, we're at peace. We can just mothball the other ones. We don't need to be paying for them right now. Heck, we could even reduce army maintenance. We could be making 20 ducats a month, which is crazy. Or we could not do that, and we could drill our army. Right, we can just stick them in Paris and have them working on their professionalism. And maybe potentially leveling up our leader too. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Have them drilling. Alright guys, so I think we're going to take a pause here in the episode. Thank you so much everybody. And we will be back, and we need to figure out what we're going to do now. Of course we'll be attacking England in the future, but we have a truce for the next 16 years. Sorry, 14 years. 14 years, so that's quite a ways away. Castile is like a powerhouse now, but we're allied with them, so... You know, as long we don't need to rock the boat there, but we might need to make sure that we keep them happy. So we're looking at Burgundy. We're looking at Burgundy. One thing is, if we go to Castile, we could check on the favors. Oh, we owe them. They owe us a lot of favors. A lot of favors. So in fact, would they even just immediately go into another war with us? They would. They would go into another war with us up against Burgundy. I think that's kind of where we're looking right now. That's where we're kind of looking. It would be great if we could actually get... Burgundy, and we could try to take this land up here in Holland. The only tricky thing is we're gonna have to really start buttering up these people here, because as we go east into the HRE, people are gonna be very, very, very skeptical of our presence here. They're already upset that we have this province here, and they're upset actually that we're taking on chunks of Brittany too. We're gonna have to be careful there. Thank you so much, everybody. I will talk to you guys in the next one.